Welcome to our podcast on adolescence and moral development. The students involved in the creation of this podcast are Parvin Chadda, Niamh Kelly, Megan O'Donnell and Claire Spillane. Within our podcast, we aim to define adolescence, explore Lawrence Kohlberg's theory on moral development looking at the Heinz dilemma, investigate the development of morals during adolescence, and consider how we, as educators, can positively influence this moral process. Adolescence is defined as the process of developing from a child to an adult. This transition, beginning for some at the early age of 9 and lasting into the mid-20s, includes biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional changes. Rapid growth, brain development, and hormonal changes make this transition incredibly difficult for the adolescents to navigate. This is Lawrence Kohlberg. He was an American psychologist who was widely recognized for his theory on the stages of moral development. This involves changes in thought, feelings, and behaviors regarding standards of right and wrong. Kohlberg was inspired by the work of Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist who studied how children develop morality. This led him to develop the stages of moral development. Through the progression of these stages, adolescents build their moral personalities and they explore moral thought, behavior, and feelings. Let's look closer at Kohlberg's stages. Kohlberg's theory affirms that the moral development is identified in 6 stages, derived from 3 levels of conventional morality. We begin at the pre-conventional level, where morality is shaped by rules. Moral thinking is tied to punishment, and what is right leads to rewards. Level 2 is the conventional level. This is where we find adolescents. Their morality is shaped and challenged by both legal and moral values. Individuals strive to gain social approval and begin to value trust and loyalty in others. Here, judgment is based on obedience to law and order. And finally, the post-conventional level. Reasoning occurs with consideration of the law and of individuals' own rights and values. Moral judgment overrules what is legal or illegal and is driven by internal morals with a focus on human rights. The Heinz dilemma is a well-known example of moral development designed by Kohlberg to test these stages. In Europe, a woman was near death from a special kind of cancer. There was one drug that the doctors thought might save her. It was a form of radium that a pharmaceutical company in the same town had recently discovered. The radium cost $200 to produce, and they were charging $2,000 for a dose of the drug. A sick woman's husband, Heinz, went to everyone he knew to borrow the money, but he could only get together $1,000. He told the head of the pharmaceutical company that his wife was dying and begged him to either sell it cheaper or to let him pay later. But the head man replied, "No, I discovered the drug and I am going to make my money from it." What should Heinz do? Should Heinz steal the drug and not go to prison, as this is unfair? Should Heinz not steal the drug, since that would be breaking the law? Or should Heinz steal the drug and accept any prison sentence? The choice you make determines which of Kohlberg's moral stages you are on. So how can we more accurately describe moral development amongst adolescents? Let's consider Piaget and Kohlberg once more. As we approach adolescence, Piaget believed that our moral reasoning is influenced by the application of rules. Whereas Kohlberg believed adolescents judge right and wrong on the basis of their own moral principles rather than on the views imposed by society. However, Carol Gilligan, an American psychologist, challenged Kohlberg's theory in her book, A Different Voice. Here, she disputed Kohlberg's findings due to a gender imbalance. His research had been carried out on only males, whereas Gilligan's research considered both males and females. She found care to be at the heart of morality, as opposed to justice, as suggested by Kohlberg. Therefore, if care is at the heart of adolescents' moral development, then perhaps we need to drastically reconsider how we, as educators, interact with adolescents. Typically, the classroom is characterized by strict adherence to rules. By doing so, are we wasting an opportunity for our students to develop positive moral attributes? Both Piaget and Kohlberg held the view that the give and take within peer interaction allows for a more positive shift in moral stance. Recent approaches promote and encourage this give and take relationship. For example, empowering students to determine their own school rules and ethos rather than imposing predetermined standards. Such approaches recognize the importance of giving students time to work together. Providing an opportunity to engage and appreciate other perspectives promotes healthy moral development. In order for educators to effectively promote moral development, the information outlined in this podcast should be considered in the classroom. In summary, this podcast has defined adolescence as the process of transitioning from a child to an adult. Explored this transition through Kohlberg's stages of moral development and the Heinz dilemma, considered the views of Gilligan, and finally, we reviewed methods that promote moral development within the classroom. We hope you have enjoyed our